Okay, so I wanted to do this video just showing you using the iPad with MPC Key 37. You can do this obviously with any MPC if you want. My thing is I like to have the keys because I want to be able to play melodies and play my leads and things of that nature. You can also, I've shown this in previous videos, use tonality if you want. So say like I have this organic case suite. So maybe I want to go with, in this case, I'm probably just going to go with a standard suitcase. All right, let's record that in. So we'll make it a 4-bar loop. There's the loop. This is Beatmaker 3 if you don't know. I'm not using any of these tracks here. Like this is your typical track there. I'm just using audio tracks, by the way, so you can see that. These are audio tracks. And if you hold here, you can arm the track and then set the input to what you want, which in this case, we're going to use that. And then you want to, so you can hear what the track is actually doing, you want to turn the monitor, which is right here, on. Otherwise, you won't hear the track. So leave it on so you can hear what the track is doing. Make sure you don't arm a track if you're not going to record to it. Otherwise, especially with audio, because it's going to record to both. So you could have it on monitor, technically. None of that really, that's just so you can hear it. But the idea is that you don't turn the record on unless you're going to actually record through it. Okay, so let's just record. In this, I have the BPM set at 79. If you need to go in, you can tap it in, or you can play it that way. Turn on this button here so you get the click. And then you quantize, you can leave it on. I mean, it doesn't really matter because we're doing audio anyway right now, so you're not quantizing audio. Not in Beatmaker 3, I don't think, that I've known of. All right, so I'm going to slide this over this way, just to make it a little bit easier so I can see the record button. There's a little lag in there, I can tell already. So let's do this. Let's turn this monitor off. We just want to monitor only the one that we're going to record. And then we will remove that. I don't know what it's doing there. Glitching. Look at it glitching. So stop. What are you doing? All right. I'm going to put this back over here. I can see the record there. Hopefully you know it. I'm just hitting record. Gives you a count in. And then, oops, messed up already. There is an undo button. Actually, yeah, that exists right up here. So that's all I'm doing is pressing undo. I'm going to hit record again. Okay, that is that recording. Hopefully it worked properly. We'll see if it messed up. Okay, this looks good. So now we'll go down to this next one. We'll take the arm off of that one, set the arm for this one. Make sure you put the audio input. And then turn the monitor to this one instead. Now I'm doing all this extra. I mean, it doesn't take that long when you're in it and you're doing it. You could just do one track at a time and then make your next track. That's what I'm gonna do. Because you can duplicate a track if you wanted to. So you could go here and just go duplicate and then you have another one. And then just change the name of it. But for right now, I only want to monitor the one I'm on. I don't want to monitor another track. So we'll leave that alone. And now you can play the melody. So if I'm in here, now if I know the key, this is for those that don't understand scales and things of that nature. This is saying that it's B flat or G minor, right? Another way to look at this is you can look at each one of the notes, and if it's a flat, you'll know which notes you can play. That could be kind of challenging if you don't know your notes very well. So one way you can do that is click on scales and tonality and go find B flat. Press the B right there, click on the flat, And then the first one would be the major. That's the one would be flat is. So it's going to be, there's your notes. They're highlighted in purple, right? So you learn the notes and then you play it. And you play it not in the same fashion that you see it on here, but just rhythmically how it sounds to you, right? So here we are on this track. We'll arm the track. And I'm just going to make something up. Okay, there's what I played. Okay, cool. So now we have this portion. I like to change the colors on these things because otherwise it gets pretty confusing. So there you go. I'm going to get rid of this one just for right now. We'll delete it. Now let's say I want to do the drums, but I probably in this case will not do the drums on the MPC just because if I need to adjust the MIDI notes or something like that. If you do it in here, you're going to be doing one at a time, right? And you better make sure you got your skill level up if you go from the MPC, because otherwise you could be off, right? And then you have to do it 100 times. But then again, that's up to the person. I can do both ways and show you, but if you go in here, you're just dropping in the drums here. If you go here, you're not going to have the samples. You're going to be using just the audio into it. So it's whatever you prefer. Let's do the audio. We'll try it out. Then we'll go red just because I prefer that on the green, on the drums. Okay, and then we'll turn on the monitor on this one. Now, you could, if you were doing using an MPC, you could sequence it. If you don't have an MPC, you have some other device, you could sequence the drums in. Just sequence the drums, and you'll be fine. If I'm going to do it in MPC, obviously I got to create a track here. So we're going to go to a drum track program. I don't have anything in here yet. I'm going to have to add in assign samples, browse the samples that I have on the MPC. I don't have expansions because I don't really care for them half the time. So if I'm being blatantly honest, most of the time I just keep certain samples that I use the same stuff on drum, especially on drums, unless I'm going for a specific sound. I'll usually just use maybe like, all right, we'll load that one. I'm just going to load in a snare. Give me, I like to hear these things, and I don't know why I'm not hearing it. It should be auditioning every time I touch it, but I'm not hearing it. So I'm just picking one at random, load, and then I'm going to go to the hats, and I'll just pick that one. All right, cool. So they're there. Now I'm going to sample assign, and I'm just going to drag the sample to a pad over there. This is real basic. And I'm not hearing anything, so I'm going to have to fix that. It's probably because when I loaded the audio track, hold it down, I did not go to the input, which is what I didn't do. And I'm fine with that just for this purpose of doing this demo. Okay, so we'll go back here. So there's a couple ways to do this. You could go duplicate, right? And now you have 3 of them, which is what you have here. You could obviously build it in here, stem it out, and then sequence it in here if you want. I'm not doing all that. I'm just going to record in. So this track here, usually I would say rename this stuff too, which is probably better. I'm going to put as the snare. I'll rename this one to the hat. And this one we'll rename to kick. This way you don't get confused on what you got, especially when you're working with audio. And it will rename the track as you record it in, so your session will have more of a proper view here. Let's go ahead to do the snare first. In order to do this, we need to monitor it. I'm going to turn the monitor off on that one. Always double check yourself too. Make sure your audio input is set, because I don't think it sets it every time. Oh, should be here, right? And I'm still not hearing anything, which leads me to feel like this is not, because 2 seconds ago we were listening to it, right? The monitor is on. I know it's playing because I can see the levels here hitting in here. So we might have a little bit of a glitch or something going on, because I'm not hearing it on any of these tracks, even though I know monitor is on. Yeah, no. Oh, there we go. Had a moment, I guess. All right. We'll just do the snare. Just a note. That'll work. Now we'll go do the kick. We'll just keep it pushing just for the sake of this video purposes. The input, double check it. Turn the monitor on that one, turn it off on this one. Back to here. All right. This is a long way of doing things. Obviously, it's quicker to do the drums inside of Beatmaker 3 than trying to do this, but I'm just showing you another option for those that don't want to use Beatmaker 3, but maybe use it just as a sequencer, since we don't have MPC 3.0 yet until it drops for everybody to have it, right? Okay, so now you have that. All right, let's go back, and now we're gonna go down to here, set the input, and then go to the monitor and turn the monitor on that one, turn that one off. Okay, and now we're gonna record on this track, and we'll do the hats. I'm gonna actually use note repeat. I'm going to try to use no repeat. I'm not going to use no repeat. And I know you can double press on the MPC to latch it. Yeah, I know. Somebody's going to say that in the comments. Watch. Happens every time. Shorten it. This is a really basic song, but just to show you how it works. Turn the metronome off. So this is just a way to have basically like a DAW-like workflow using MPC, just recording straight in. Of course, this works with Ableton, Logic, any other DAW. You can use just about anything you want. You're just recording in. And that's where this previous video comes into place, where I introduced you to, things like the Sonus, where you can have an input. The output is this headphone. That's the reason why you're able to hear it. And using this cable here allows you to be able to play in this fashion, where you're recording out of the MPC or whatever you're going to use, device you're going to use, into the iPad. And then if you want to go in, if you understand how to use Beatmaker 3 to some degree, there is audio effects. So you could go to each track and you could beef it up. Let's say you want to use drums. Is it drums and knock that I usually would use on there? Like if I need to beef up the sound, sometimes I just put saturation on, but we could do the knock on there. Put the knock on. And maybe, I don't know, kick hard. I'm just making this up as we go. I'm not even really like, so if you want to. That's up to you, how you want to do your editing, audio effects, and etc., etc. I'm just showing because every DAW is going to be a little bit different. I mean, obviously, if I'm in Ableton, I got more of a selection, a bigger, broader selection of tools to use. But on the iPad, this is pretty cool that you got a lot of stuff like knock and different plugins like the Fab Filter stuff to help EQ your sounds, to make it sound a little bit better. Of course, if you have an MPC, you could do it inside the MPC, put up some of the stuff and then record in the sounds a little bit beefier. I'm not going through all that right now with you. I'm just showing you that those are options that you have. If you need to go in and edit something, you can edit in here by double clicking on each one. And so you have options there to work on. I think they call these patterns. I get confused on it, but I think they call them patterns. And in Ableton, I think we would call it clips, if I'm not mistaken. So you have clips of audio that you're using. Whatever you want to call it, that's on you. But I just wanted to show you. And then, of course, you have the mixer. So if you use the mixer here in Beatmaker 3, it's pretty easy to go into and make your adjustments. You got your pans, your sends, etc., etc. And then your macros and whatever, if you really get that in depth to it. I'm not about to do that right now. I just wanted to get you going and show you kind of a way you could use it with just the audio. You could do your beat in the MPC if you have that, and then send the audio to iOS or send it to your desktop, wherever, and then do all your tracking there that way. I don't know if it's possible. I would have to deep dive, but I'm not really thinking about trying to do this, really, to be honest. But there may be a way, maybe, I don't know. And probably with Logic Pro, it would be more or less, where you could actually export. I know you can do it with Ableton, where you can export and have built the whole track in MPC and then export it to, stem it out basically to the to Ableton. Now, I don't know if you can do that in every DAW or how that would work, or if it'd be just too much work to do. But this is just one way I do. If I'm creating something new and I'm just building, you can just record it right in. It just saves you some time, unless you prefer just building in the machine itself and then sending it, whichever you do. All right, that's enough of me rambling about this. I don't want to take up too much more time. Just wanted to show you it's pretty cool that you can work with the iPad doing this. Gives you another option. If you don't have a MacBook, you can use your phone and do this too. Now, Beatmaker 3 does not work on the phone. Logic does not work on the phone. So you'd be using something like GarageBand, I think it's AEM is also one that's on there you could use. I think Cubasis is on there you could use. And there may be a few I'm missing right off top that's not happening in my brain. Koala, of course. But Koala is not really a DAW like this type of workflow. Even you could use Loopy Pro on your phone. So if you want to record in, just build loops in there and then sequence them in there, you can do that. So there's options out there, depending on what workflow you feel is best for you. But I just think it's cool that you can use this stuff with the iPad. It's pretty neat. All right, that's it for this video. Let me know if you got any questions or if you want to see me try something else. I'm open for doing it. All right.